Nearly 200 years ago, one doctor discovered a simple way to save countless lives. It cost almost nothing. It worked immediately. And for daring to suggest it, he was mocked, rejected, and driven to ruin. His name was Ignaz Semmelweis. In the 1840s, Semmelweis was a young doctor working in the maternity wards of a major hospital in Vienna, and those wards held a terrible, baffling secret. Huge numbers of women were dying shortly after giving birth, killed by a horrifying illness called childbed fever. It was a common tragedy of the era, but something about this particular hospital made no sense at all, because it had two separate maternity clinics, and one of them was far, far deadlier than the other. The difference was startling. In the first clinic, staffed by doctors and medical students, women were dying at a shocking rate. In the second clinic, staffed by midwives, the death rate was dramatically lower. The two clinics were otherwise almost identical. Women were so terrified of the deadly first clinic that some reportedly begged to be sent to the second, and a few even chose to give birth in the streets rather than be admitted to the doctor's ward. Semmelweis became obsessed with a single question: why? The answer came from tragedy. A colleague of Semmelweis accidentally cut himself during an autopsy and then died from an illness that looked almost exactly like childbed fever. Semmelweis had a chilling realization. The doctors and students in the first clinic spent their mornings performing autopsies on the dead. Then, without washing their hands, they walked straight over to deliver babies. The midwives did no such autopsies. Semmelweis became convinced the doctors were carrying some invisible, deadly material from the corpses directly to their patients. His solution was radical for its time and beautifully simple: wash your hands. He ordered the doctors to scrub their hands in a chlorine solution before treating patients. The results were almost miraculous. The death rate in the deadly first clinic plummeted, dropping to match and sometimes beat the midwives' ward. He had found it. He had a method. He had the evidence, and it was saving lives right in front of everyone. Surely the medical world would celebrate him. Instead, they turned on him. Remember, this was decades before germ theory, before anyone understood that invisible microbes cause disease. Semmelweis couldn't fully explain why his method worked, only that it did. And many doctors were deeply offended by the implication that they, respectable gentlemen, were the ones spreading death with their own unwashed hands. His ideas were dismissed and ridiculed. He grew angry and desperate, lashing out at his critics, which only isolated him further. Slowly, his life fell apart. The story ends in heartbreak. Semmelweis's mental health deteriorated, and in 1865, he was committed to an asylum. There, in a cruel twist of fate, he died from an infection, the very kind of invisible killer he had spent his life fighting. He passed away largely rejected at just 47, never knowing he would be vindicated. Only years later, when Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister proved germ theory, did the world finally understand that Semmelweis had been right all along. Today, hand washing is one of the most basic, life-saving practices in all of medicine. Ignaz Semmelweis gave us that gift, and it cost him everything. His story is a haunting reminder that being right is sometimes not enough, and that the truth can arrive long before the world is ready to hear it.